Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is? Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. For those of you who like these type of videos, please remember to click like down below. Offset those dislikes. Remember to subscribe. Click the little notification bell. Ring my bell, baby. But let's get to the topic at hand. I've had a number of people aware me that Bart Kwan over at Barbell Brigade is now selling a pre-workout, supposedly a magical special pre-workout unlike any other that exists. So let me go ahead and put on my +5 out of Speechcraft and let's talk about this. All right, guys, you guys know my stance on pre-workouts. I understand psychologically why some people think they need them. It's just not backed by the evidence, not backed by the research. And I find the actual concept itself a little bit ridiculous and disturbing. Now, granted, I understand some people need a placebo, but you can just find a cheaper placebo. It's not really an issue. Now, over to the point. You got guys like Bart and the Barbell Brigade who, at this point, when you start kicking out goofy supplements that you know don't work, and I mean, a perfect example, branched chain amino acids. He said, oh, we got our new BCAA supplement. No legitimate expert recommends BCAA supplements anymore. Right? They have been shown repeatedly in meta-analysis to be completely useless for recovery, muscle growth, muscle protein synthesis. They were a scam from day one. I'm one of the people who got sued for saying that over 5 years ago. I've been sued for it, then it turned out I was right. They're a scam. Anybody still selling branched chain amino acids is conning you, and that's what the scientific literature says. It's not me, that's what the literature says. So he's already saying, oh, we got a new BCAA product. Bro, you're just being greedy at that point. You are. You got to be realistic here, because Bart seems to be a pretty good, strong guy. Good amount of training knowledge. You know, that's a big channel, guys. That's a big channel. YouTubers make a lot more money than they let on. I mean, the truth of it. A lot of people think YouTubers make a certain amount of money. They'll even come joke. They think I make a certain amount of money. You guys are dead wrong. You're very far off the mark. There's no reason the Barbell Brigade channel isn't making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. All right, off of the ad revenue. That should easily be a deep six-figure channel, right? I would hope, I would expect. If not, he's not capitalizing on the size of his audience, right? They should be good there. Coaching services. These guys are able to sell coaching services, coaching spots, workout programs, right? Stuff that people might actually benefit from. We could argue all day long about how good of a coach or not you think Bart or any of those guys might be. Completely irrelevant to the point. Because if people are willing to pay for the coaching service, are willing to pony up their hard-earned money for it, and people are, they are, and they're put on something with any decent structure, it might be better than what they came up with on their own. At least they have guidance, and it's money they can afford. We could argue about the quality of it. I don't know. I haven't seen the level of quality that they produce for people. I have no clue. I couldn't begin to guess. It could be anywhere between mediocre to fantastic. We don't know. Still selling a product that people want, that they have at least a reasonable chance of benefiting from. Bart's at least a strong enough guy that he obviously knows a bit about training, enough that he could definitely guide other people, right? I don't think that's in question. Valuable service for people who have the money to spend. So why pimp stuff like pre-workouts? I don't get it. And then, you know, the whole point here that bothers me is, well, it lasts longer. Now, he did raise an interesting point that I think a lot of bodybuilders are going to get miffed at. He's right. He's right, because a lot of bodybuilders think they train hard or train long because they do a bunch of sets of curls. He's like, well, we're strength athletes. And a lot of times our workouts are really long, and there's truth to that. People say, what do you mean? Well, look at a lot of what I do. Realistically, look at my weekly lower body volume. If you look at it in its totality, compare that to most guys who call themselves bodybuilders. They're really not doing that much. They really aren't. Again, when you start adding up all the assistance movements and the split squats and the glute ham raises and box jump and all that other stuff after doing the 20 sets of deadlifts, right? It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of volume. Especially when you start adding in your conditioning work, GPP, things like that. Those loaded carries. It's a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work. Can be. So the whole point here is like, well, I wanted something that lasts longer because it seems like the ones that are the bodybuilding ones just this intensity and burst of energy, which is useless. Uh, is absolutely useless. And we come over to the point, the problem with that mindset. What is it I always say? If you need something to get hyped up to get in the gym and train, there's probably something wrong with your programming or lifestyle. Because it's been studied, and we know in the studies there is no extra gains from taking even the best pre-workouts, like the most popular ones ever, even ones that have been outlawed. Right? Craze was studied. A big study was done to study it where they actually took college lifters and put them on good structured programs written by legitimate strength and conditioning coaches running 4-day-a-week, upper, lower, periodized programming, had dietitians write their sports dietitians write their meal plans. Guess what? They didn't get anything out of the pre-workouts. Nothing. It didn't help at all. Because everything was already structured correctly. Right? Pre-workouts are a crutch for people who don't know how to train, which is most bodybuilders, right? They're a crutch because you don't have your fatigue management in place. And here's what I would say to someone. Why would you ever put a substance in your body that helps motivate you to train harder that also doesn't make you recover? Okay? And they all have side effects, and people can argue that. People want to really make this argument, and I'm not advocating anyone use gear. I'm not advocating it. But realistically speaking, who do you think is higher risk of suffering health effects? People who need to slam a pre-workout, bunch of stems and all sorts of stuff every time they train, or someone who eats a D-bowl? Okay? Who do you think's worse off? We don't actually know. We can't make a real educated guess on that, can we? It would be impossible. If you say that you think it's one or the other, you're wrong because you can't know that. They probably both carry a similar degree of risk to you. One of them is actually going to help you recover after you train. The other one won't. So let's come over to the point. If you're taking a pre-workout that helps motivate you to train a little harder, that means you need to train less, right? People say, what? Because you're going to hit your recovery limit faster in a workout. Therefore, you better train less. And if you're not, then it's time to restructure your programming to begin with. If your training was already at a point to where if you trained harder during the first part of your workout or trained harder in general, that it doesn't push you into an overtrained state, your training sucked. And I don't mean the energy you're bringing to the training was bad. I mean your actual programming was bad. So if pre-workouts actually do anything and work, and you try to run the same program you were running before, but then it makes you train harder, you should reach an overtrained state very, very quickly. You're going to have to reduce the workloads. You're going to have to reduce the volumes. Well, if you're just training slightly harder and reducing the volume, the net result is the same gains. But you spent money and you suffered side effects for the same results. This is an issue. This is a problem. And it's the same thing. He's like, oh yeah, we take it so that we can maintain mental clarity and focus. You really have evidence that any of this stuff gives mental clarity and focus? How about you get your fatigue management in place? Why don't you get your lifestyle in place? All right, here's the thing is I'm going to mess with a lot of the guys out there who think they need a pill for everything. I don't know, maybe don't smoke so much bud. Maybe that'll help with your mental clarity and focus. That might help, guys. I mean, it's kind of this vicious cycle. People live lifestyles that affects their mental clarity and focus because maybe they choose to use whatever recreational stuff they do, right? That's your business. I don't care. I don't judge. I actually take a very libertarian stance on stuff like that. You have the right to do whatever you want to your body. That's your business. I don't care. But the vicious cycle you get in, you do different things and it affects your mental clarity and focus. And then I need to take something else now to help with my mental clarity and focus. It's like, really, man, it's just like a pill for everything, a drug for everything. There's an impact on you. So, I mean, let's talk about peak performance as an athlete. If you're having to do all these different things and they affect your recovery, and they will affect your recovery, they will put your body through certain things that it has to handle and recover from, and your liver and everything else is put under stress, how's this going to affect the quality of your training and your results in the long term? This isn't ideal. I don't think you need these products at all. You don't need pre-workouts. You really don't. You need to get your lifestyle in order. You need to get your training programming in order. You need to get your nutrition in order. You get your sleep patterns in order. Right? There's your solution. There's your solution. And I always say pre-workouts are basically the tool of the con man, because people give you workouts that you can't recover correctly from. The fatigue management isn't ideal. They don't promote recovery aids and, again, living a lifestyle that will help you with it, and active recovery and all the things that you need to do. Your hot baths, sleep quality. Hey, how about they tell you to turn your phone off when you're in bed at night sleeping? There you go. Put it away. Don't look at it in the last 30 minutes before you go to sleep. There you go. That affects your recovery. Right? No, don't look at your workout app or your MyFitnessPal. Turn the screens off before bed. Improves your quality of sleep. Right? They don't push all the proper recovery factors, give you programs with bad fatigue management, and then sell you the product to help you make it through the workout. You know? It's like, let's create the problem and then sell you the solution. Sell you the Band-Aid fix solution. And then when that doesn't work, and then there's a problem because now your fatigue is even worse, then I'll sell you the product to help you sleep.